Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Metaphor. It's about that time.
What now?
a little nervous. Last day in Altabury. So theoretically, last day we can do anything. Tomorrow is travel day. For whatever reason, we need a travel day, and then the duel with Luis is supposed to be the 24th. I doubt it's going to be as straightforward as we just, walk up to the church grounds and it's like, okay, Luis is here, I'm duel, we fight it out, done, right? So, not sure what to expect. I've talked a lot previously about kind of like where I believe the game's going to go, how I feel like the human component is like the only unanswered thing. I feel like the prince is probably gonna have been like kidnapped or jacked or something like that, so we'll see. As for today, I have made a safety save here so that if we proceed and things turn out poorly, then we'll be able to come back and go somewhere and just train for today. But in the meantime, we actually have to do something for the day. And our choices are between Barden, Basilio, and Yufa. Alternatively, we could try to boost up our royal virtues, and by royal virtues, I really mean eloquence. Right, so I did spend a little bit of time looking around at what our eloquence options are, and the majority of them seem to be doing like the podium thing, and that does concern me somewhat. I'm worried that I'm somewhat worried that we're not gonna have. The only eloquence thing is there at the podium.
Where to?
I think it's the same here. Yeah, eloquence at the podium. So I'm a little worried about that conceptually.
Where to?
Of what happens if we progress, but we can't get like our eloquence higher.
Where to?
That is a little bit of a concern. But at this point, I don't think a single day is gonna matter, right? So if we fucked up there, then I mean we fucked up. There's nothing really to be done about it. So
now what am I
today
to do?
we are going to spend time with Basilio.
Yo.
Let's do it.
Right then.
Let's do it. To it. I don't want to drag my feet because I want to get into whatever this next story bit is. Because I think it's probably going to be super involved. It's you. Hard luck, chum. Afraid your remedy's just sold out. Want to check back when the seasons change, eh? That's about when all the peddlers pass through.
Huh?
Can't wait that long, though. Those herbs are the only things that actually do something for the pain. What's going on? Basilio.
Oi!
Strike me down. Is that you, Basilio? Oh, that's a big dude! Basilio is a big dude. That dude is ginormous. I know those ears. Vinka? You gotta be kidding me. Survived, eh? And got big as a house. Yeah, he did. Took the words out of me mouth, mate. It's you, Basilio. You're bleeding massive. As big as you. Oh, Vinka! Suppose you'd have gotten bigger, though. It's been years since we were kids.
Hey.
By the way, who's the little squirt? Got yourself a crony?
Nah.
Nothing like that. He's a comrade. No, a friend. Don't have to watch what you say anyway. You don't care what tribe you are. Well, that tracks. We got it rough enough, but suppose nobody knows that side of the world better than an Elder. I'm still yet to see another Elder in existence. I think I'm the only one. That's not true. I think we saw an Elder before. The name's Vinka. Good to meet you, eh? Me, Fidelio, and Basilio go way back. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Dotus. As you can see by the position of my legs, this is not a sitting moment. He seems very upset by that.
Truth is,
Vinka was there with us at the Igniter experiment facility, back when Del and I were kids.
oh,
Well, you even told him about the facility, eh? Must be some friend if you could talk about all that mess. I have to say, though, it's damn good to see you. After you two ran off, the rest of us were praying you'd make it out alive. Some smartass had it in mind to bet on whether you two lived or died. Except everyone bet on you living, so that settled that. I feel like he's definitely the one who bet on their death. Why have you forsaken me, father? Because I don't want his heavy, clawy paws stepping on my junk. That's why. That's like the honest reason why. If he would just get in my lap and lay down and just chill, I'd let him be a lap cat forever. But he won't. He gets in my lap and he stamps around and he slams it. It doesn't matter. I can pet him for like 15 minutes, right? If I stop petting him, he starts to move around. He'll start to like needle me with his claws. He gets in my face. He rams his head into the desk, into the chair, into me. He's just like insatiable. He won't be good. He won't be a good boy. Is he a bad boy? He's a sweet boy, but he's a bad boy. Kind of an inconsiderate thing to bet on. It's fine, isn't it? After all, they made it out all right.
speaking of,
Father, I crave the lap. He just craves the pets. You were after some of these herbs, yeah? Here, take them. Gonna mark our reunion somehow.
serious?
Huh? I mean, I'm not turning them down, but aren't you gonna need them yourself? But these? No worries. These would have been my just-in-case supply. Come on, have them before I change my mind.
Thanks.
Not for the trouble, but thanks all the same.
So,
How's Fidelio? Got a tongue as sharp as his wits. But I'd love a chat with him all the same. Died. Right then.
Hey,
Wrong. Fine. Just slept wrong and got a twinge is all. Yeah, I totally double over and cough like I have TB when I sleep wrong and have a twinge. Actually, I joke about that, but that's probably not far off the truth, AJ. Stop. No. No clawing my chair. It's bad. You're a bad boy. Don't you?
You squint at me. You squint at me. He's like, Bubba, you can't yell at me if I'm squinting at you.
Act like you just have it the worst in the world, don't you, Dotus? Always been the only lad I know who can screw up sleeping.
well then,
Alright, but I'm heading home for the day. Let's talk more about Fidelio, eh? Right. You sure you're good there?
Sam.
The chest's hurting that bad. It's a wonder he sleeps at all. Well, one way or another, we got the herbs. It's like I owe you and Vinka. Oh, I got it. I'll cook something up for you. I know I don't look it, but I'm a hell of a chef, me. Look forward to it.
Right then.
You'd better. Even put a smile on Dell's face, my cooking did. Though we're both partial to Parapus food anyhow.
Leave
I
it
like-
to me.
Almost any cuisine. Done deal. I'll whip you up a real feast. Hope you're ready. Yay! I'm just gonna stop looking
Hope
at
you're
you.
ready.
Because you just keep looking at me like I'm
Listen.
the worst person in the world. But also the best person. Did you hear? They found a clergyman's body over by the church.
What in the world?
His neck was broken, right? It's horrifying. Bound to be some pagan from out of town.
Hmm?
Murder. Nasty business, that. We'd better get back before we get caught up in anything messy. Well, I wonder who it could have been. Old Vinka, eh? Alright. We got Alonso. We can get Alonso to 8. So if Stroll, Hulkenberg, Heismay, Maria, and more to 8. What does Alonso get us at 8? Alonso gets us the Trickster. That would be cool.
What now?
Vidartha? Decrease attack and defense for enemy by 2 ranks. Good. Trickster sounds more impressive than Faker. It does, doesn't it? How you doing, Lime? Hope you're doing well. Transfer MP to 1 ally. That's neat. Pain in the box may inflict daze on all enemies. Debilitate. Decrease 1 enemy's attack, defense, hit, evasion for 3 turns. That's really nice. That's really nice. Lucky Slash. Deals unpredictable physical slash damage to 1 enemy. If it's based on luck, this could be the class for us. Oh, Synthesis is debilitate as well? That's not great. Free juggling, weak physical almighty to all enemies without consuming MP, and miracle soak. Extreme physical almighty damage to all enemies without consuming MP, but it is a 3-fer. Huh. Not super ecstatic about the class, necessarily, but Debilitate does sound super useful. That sounds like a one-and-done style ability where I could put that on any other class and just be like, okay, well, that's really awesome. We finished a new book on Sunday, which was on your to-be-read list. It was The Arm of the Starfish by Madeline L'Engle? The Engle? Arm of the Starfish. I'm trying to make my way through a series that I've tried to fully read and failed multiple times. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I'm trying to make my way through the series. And I always crap out around like book 7 or 8 out of like 10 or so. Just because they're so long and involved and somewhat emotionally draining. Like, it's draining just to try to like hold all of the information in your mind of what's going on in the books, but also they just get really sad. So they're very emotionally draining. So I always end up just like failing to push through. Is it Wheel of Time? No, I did actually finish Wheel of Time, although I did have some difficulty with that as well. It's the Malazan Book of the Fallen. Which, amusingly enough, right, like, even though I've never finished it, it's still probably one of my favorite book series ever, just because it's so good. But, like, there are difficulties, even when you get good stuff, there's difficulties that are presented in good things. I think the first time I tried to read through it, I actually, like, I stopped because I just didn't have the next book in the series. And then, like, I kind of, like, procrastinated on getting it. But by the time I got it, I felt it was, like, several months later. And by the time I got it, I was like, well, not really feeling it right now. I probably need a refresher, blah, 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 blah. And then I just put it off for like a year. And by then I was like, okay, well, I got to just reread it from the beginning. And then I reread it from the beginning and just got fatigue. By the time that I got basically to the point where because I I tried to just read it all really, really fast. And I did. I read like 6 or 7 really large books inside of a handful of weeks. And by the time I got to where I had ended the original time, I just had like a lot of fatigue, like reading fatigue and emotional fatigue and shit like that. And so I kind of stopped and I was like, I'll give myself a little break. Little break turned into a very long break. And then I tried again and got a little bit further, and then combination of emotional fatigue in the book and emotional fatigue in real life happened. So that paused me, and now I'm on my 4th attempt. And I'm back up to like book 5 or something like that. So it's going significantly better this time around. Anyways, sorry. Random tangent. Don't get me talking about books. I will talk way too much about books. All right. We can get Alonzo 8. Let's do it. I don't really see a reason not to do it. We pop in. Finish up Alonzo. Let's see. I mean, it's not possible for me to hear Alonzo's voice, and yet somehow Alonzo's supposed to be dead, right? His proclaimed calling was to trick the wicked. His deceptions and crimes against the people ended in his execution. I don't know. I don't think he was actually executed, but maybe he was. Alonzo comes to mind. Maybe I should go talk with him? He's dead! How are we gonna go talk with him? Why are you here? Why are you here? Talk to his ghost. Duh. Totally. He didn't fake his own death as a... No, he totally faked his own death. He totally faked his own death as a stunt to get the people on my side. Absolutely, that's what he did. That would be dishonest? There was a deeper meaning to Alonzo's sacrifice, and I would have you know the whole truth of it. Alonzo said he was going all in on you. I did too. On the new world you're going to create. Tell me. You're familiar with the tavern he used to frequent, yes? The place I first broke the news to him. Let's talk there. He actually asked that it be the venue, and I mean to honor his request.
Allow me to introduce myself once again. My name is Dutteram. I'd like to thank you for your assistance.
What assistance?
Right then, where shall I begin? The execution was proposed by Alonzo himself. He agreed to bear the weight of my crimes and die with them.
I'm gonna be extremely surprised if he actually died. Like, that's gonna feel very weird for the elusive con artist to legitimately die rather than fake his death.
That is, under one condition. He had me declare my support for your candidacy by naming you as the key figure who put an end to the people's suffering. And in doing so, Alonzo would accomplish his goal, to bring you great renown.
At the same time, he was a very sad man, and probably like very at the end, especially after his mother's death. This is one of the kind of like weak points in the character stories for me, at least. Like, this guy is the guy that burned Alonzo's village down and killed his mother, right? Like, caused his mother's death. The fact that Alonzo would work with him at all, it just irks me. The concept irks me. But even then, right, like, you can argue, you know, different people, different mindsets, political expedience. This guy was, you know, under the thumb of other people as well, blah, 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 blah. But still, con artist, even if a con artist were to like turn over a new leaf and find the right, path, still it doesn't like martyr yourself. One thing, martyr yourself in a scheme is like, well, if you were gonna scheme, why not just fake martyr yourself? So I'm still anticipating that he's not actually dead, but we'll see.
He didn't need to die for something like that.
Perhaps it was meant to be a form of atonement. By giving you recognition and building your reputation, he could pave you a path to the crown. He truly believed that you could change the world. Alonso entrusted me with this letter, or rather, with his last words.
I mean, there's a letter right here. It's both.
I wager you must be furious with me. I'm sorry I didn't let you in on the plan. I knew you would be against it. Believe it or not, I considered myself a just person. My cons were always in the service of a greater good. I convinced myself that it was all for my hometown, for my mother. But that pretense crumbled away, along with her life. I realized everything I'd done was out of my own selfish desires. Such a man ought to die. So, I found a way to make a worthy end of it. Come to think of it, death, too, is perhaps its own selfish escape. When you stopped me, I could finally confront that about myself. The truth of the matter is, I like lying. I like tricking people. Perhaps I never needed to be a good person. On the day of my execution, you'll be lauded as a hero, and everyone in attendance will be none the wiser about my deception. Yes, before long you'll ascend to the throne, and the world will become a slightly better place. All thanks to my lies. I've done far too much wrong in my life. But in my final moments, I will become the kind of person I've always aspired to be. I owe it all to you. Even though I know this wasn't the conclusion you wished for, you have my gratitude.
The devious schemer, Alonso, keeper and heritor of the Faker's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of his newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Remember your promise. Become the king.
I don't know how I like that. That feels like... I mean, I get, like I said the things already. I said the, maybe he was just done, The death of his mother was a lot, but that doesn't feel... I don't know. It feels weird to say it like this, but it almost feels like it's a cop-out.
Are you all right?
Because it's like why would doing the right thing wouldn't have been a cop-out? I guess it feels like it kind of feels like it's a cop-out on his character, where it's like, yeah, he's the lying trickster con man. And he's just gonna actually die? Okay. No, I'm not alright.
I'm distressed.
I'm sure
Maybe
you
I'm
must
just
be.
mad that I was
But
wrong.
Alonso believed you could
It's-
bring about a better future.
It's definitely not mad because I'm wrong, Jay. I think you're just happy that I'm wrong. I wasn't mad when I was wrong about Luis or any of that stuff. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's fair. No, it feels weird, right? Like it feels weird, though I will say it feels weird in the way that most of Alonso's story has felt weird. Like, truth be told, his story kind of feels like one of the weakest stories. You know, he clearly, like, baited us. We don't follow that path. He, you know, has this whole, like con scheme running with this guy, and then this guy burns his village and kills his mother, and now this guy is the guy doing the good work, and it feels kind of weird and strange the vast majority of the time, and then all of a sudden here at the end, it does to me feel like it feels like his character was just like, yeah, I'm ready to die. You know? Which isn't illogical, right? Like, this isn't me saying that it's bad, but it's me saying that it feels like it could have been better.
You there. Bring him what we've discussed. This is Alonso's fortune. Though half of it was pinched from my coffers. Still, the fact that he managed to steal all this is quite impressive.
What are you planning to do with it?
Rest
I feel better
assured,
now? No,
I
I
won't
don't
be
feel better
taking it with me. Not after all that's happened. Alonso intended to give this money to his village, but he was terribly distraught when they wouldn't accept it. However, if you, the hero, were to give them the money, that'd be a different matter. Might you donate his fortune in your name?
If that is my friend's wish, then I will.
Thank you. Please grant this wish of his. I'll make arrangements for a coachman to transport this to the village. Until then, his property shall be in my care. Come speak with me once you've arrived. I ask this of you in his stead.
This one's important.
This motherfucker ain't dead. We gotta... If he was dead, why wouldn't it just end right here? This is number 8, right? We haven't gotten some additional quest on the tail end of any other 8s. Right? Like, why would we have to do this? If he's not dead, why do I have a feeling he's using you to launder stolen money? No, I definitely get the feeling that he intends for this money to go to the village. And I do believe that part of the process is us giving it to the village will mean the village will take it, and him trying to give it to the village meant the village wouldn't take it. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Get out of here, Jay. No. Something is up, right? Like, this is strange, right? Like, otherwise, I don't know. This feels like there's something extra. All right, because I mean, we're done. We got the fist bump. We got tier 8. And now all of a sudden we have this extra little quest with no deadline and no breaking or anything. Like the game wants us to go see something. Like the game wanted us to go through this and be like, Alonso died. Sad. And then the game wants us to go do this quest and be like, what the devil?
You...
Oh, shit. Fucking auto. Surely you have reservations about this. Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, But is your mind truly clear of doubt?
Somehow.
I mean to say, if you strike down a man who is not your true enemy, will you truly be able to call yourself a righteous prince? My response to this is to look Heisme in the eyes and go, I 100% believe that Luis is my true enemy and is the true enemy of the vast majority of the people in this world. And if we are capable of removing his threat, I absolutely believe that makes us righteous. 100%.
It'll be fine.
My heart is clear. I know what must be done.
Yes.
And I'm glad to hear it.
However,
I challenge you on this only because I think it foolish to be brought to a standstill by it.
may I speak?
I do not believe Luis innocent in the slightest. On the contrary, in but a few months he has slain the king and your comrade besides. Is it any wonder that people seek to end his life? He has lived by a doctrine of power. His every step has been in service of that purpose. Not to mention the other horrible things that we know. The true enemy is definitely Luis. Definitely Luis. Heisme just told us. He was just kind of like baiting us there a little bit to be like, do we have any doubts? He believes Luis is the true enemy. And like, killing the king, already bad enough, right? Killing Grius, already bad enough, right? He's killed multiple other people. Could be God? Okay. Like, I'm not necessarily saying Luis is the final enemy, right? I'm not saying that there's not something beyond Luis, because that is entirely possible for a game like this. But Luis is the my brain just died on me. God, what's his name? Luis is the Kuja of the game, right? Like, there may be a Necron, but Luis is the Kuja of the game. But worse. Kuja had some relatability. He's sealed his fate, and you, as a contender for the throne, should not waste time deliberating over whether such an ideology is fit to rule. Is that not so? Look, you just needed to plant the seed. There's seeds already been planted. I've spent the last several days going like, okay, 24th is our duel with Luis. I bet we don't beat Luis here. But if the game surprises me and we do beat Luis here, what is the rest of the game? Right? Because there's definitely more game. So I've just been like mind cartwheeling with ideas, hamster cages, churning out, you know.
It'll be all right.
My belief is that we may have some sort of battle with Luis here, but it's not going to be the final battle with Luis. Or it could be the final battle with Luis, and then on the tail end of it, he evokes some sort of catastrophe, and that's what we're going to be spending the next month dealing with. Zorba is also a big outlier in this whole situation of like, what the fuck is he going to do, and how is he going to be involved? And then, of course, again, the big question of the humans, right? You are already in second place in this contest. Countless people have thrown their support behind you. Never forget that. Yeah, I'm good, fam. Heisme made a pretty good point. We're going to take back the country. Can't let any self-doubt stop you in your tracks here.
We can't lose.
Everything we've done has been for this day. Let's take it all in and stick to Luis. Stick it to Luis, Varela and Grius, and everyone we've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. All the pain we've endured will be your power in the end.
Right.
I love that power. I don't want a king who believes might makes right. There's no reason you can't be a contender yourself.
Besides,
And now that you've declared yourself the prince, it's not like you can afford to fall on your face in front of everyone anyway. Whoops. Alright, we've done it. The deed.
that reminds me.
Eurus apparently wants to make some kind of grand entrance into Grand Trad with the Skyrunner. Despite everything going on, that's his biggest priority. But maybe that's exactly what we need to make this work.
Okay then.
Well then, let's get a full night's rest so that we're ready for tomorrow. Okay.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It's finally here.
So we set off for the royal capital and the decisive battle of our lives. A little disappointed. Just grown accustomed to the cold. I cannot say the same. Regardless, we've done all that we can here. Let us depart with our heads held high, yes? Sure. Nira sure seemed thrilled about arriving by sky instead of teleportation. All it takes is a day to get there from here. We'll have them city folks shaking in their boots. Let's meet at the runner once we polished off breakfast. There's something you don't understand. When that priestess lady sacrificed herself, you see an image of the prince being released from his chains. However, that man wasn't you, or at least didn't look like you. Yeah, so just recently, we are impersonating the prince. We started impersonating the prince as a bid to kind of like forestall things that were going on in the competition. So we are not the prince. That is the prince. And the people in the game that know the prince say that we look like the prince, but I personally don't really see it. Maybe we'll have a better comparison later on in the game if we get to see them side by side or something like that. But to me, they don't really look that similar, but maybe we'll see otherwise. Could just watch the opening again. Sure.
At last, only a day remains.
Yes, I'm gonna go out of my way and go watch the opening again just to see if they look like each other.
Whatever Luis throws at us,
Get out of here,
this
Jay.
is where we end it.
Is
Between
it?
him and the criers, he's certainly made a production of this. You don't suppose it's a trap?
Mood.
Nah.
Probably.
He just loves a battle that'll make history. That's the bastard through and through.
Oh, well, he loves that, but Zorba is a different matter.
Indeed. The man's in first place right now. Not much he stands to gain from subterfuge. But I'll admit, I have my own suspicions.
What? Losing your nerve, old fella? Me? I'm ready to lay the bastard out. I owe him at least one solid whack in the face from Ardell.
You can start with one for Del. Give him 100 for yourself. If he becomes king, the kingdom is finished. Maybe even destroyed from the sounds of it.
Rella said as much too. About the country being overrun with hordes of humans. That might be his real aim. Though I can't for the life of me think why Luis would want that. I thought he'd made his name as this grand human slayer.
At the very least, we know that Luis will not wield the king's magic to save this land.
We have our own future we're dreaming of. For Maria and Fabienne. For Grius and Rella. We've got to win this. For everyone's sakes.
Yeah, okay.
You would pursue peril.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Great. Let's move out.
I ain't got nothing else going on.
The stage is set for the decisive battle to take place in Grand Trad. And so the Gauntlet Runner takes to the sky. He does not return within the hush of teleportation magic as a mere wanderer, but with the fanfare required of one who would claim to be prince.
Final
He
metaphor
is a
stream?
boy no more.
There's a
He
whole
stands now
month
on
left
equal footing with
before the
Luis,
king declares
and
the
his
winner.
triumphant descent over the capital
There's no
will
way this is
finally
the
make
final
them know
scenario.
Whether or not his gambit is only a means to an
If it
end.
was the final situation, why would the devs not just be like, oh, the king is ending it on this day, and
He's here.
that's like
Wow,
3 days
it's
after
really
when
him.
Luis...
Welcome
They're just gonna
back,
time skip us?
Your Highness.
Okay, I guess theoretically possible seems really weird to do. Really weird to do. I know you're just trying to, like, fuck with me / throw me off, Jay. I believe what I believe.
It's His Royal Highness the Prince. We've been waiting for you. Going
You?
to teach that damn Luis a lesson.
Me?
Finally! This is better than any of the fables. I'm putting all my money on Luis to win.
Sounds
Fuck you,
like they're
Jolly
more
Bar.
excited about the spectacle than about the prince being alive. Still, suppose it makes sense.
That's what they do in
But
the
by
original
faces
version
in
of
the
Persona
sky and
4.
upon the
It's
rock, they
golden
are
that lets you
squarely
play after
set in
Christmas,
second
that's true.
place. Even with the gap between us and Luis, the prince has faithful supporters.
Though 'tis not truly His Highness's face wrought in stone, but our captain's. After all this time, I cannot help
I
but
got
feel
bit by an
conflicted.
ant
Luis
while I
spares
was cutting
nothing
down
for
tree
an older
limbs.
woman like me. Saint Rella spoke truth. We need the help of His Royal Highness the Prince.
He's the boy with a saint's blessing. He's got to be genuine. If the Sanctus Church's power is waning, should I take His Highness's side over Luis?
Even after her confession,
Considering Luis
they
was
still keep her words
pretty
close.
anti-sanctist, yes.
I suppose no amount of past sins could make them forget her genuine kindness. Seems strange to say, but we owe her a great deal. Without her, the people would never have calmed, much less placed their trust in us. We can't let them down.
But looking around the city, some of the fervor seems beyond reason.
Your Highness, you can't stop at Luis. You've got to kill all the idiots who believe in him. They're not right in the head.
That right? You're the ones who aren't right in the head. It's because of stiff old cowards like you that this country's been spinning its wheels. Not ever getting better.
Then why hasn't Luis shown up yet, eh? Sounds like he's your coward, after he arranged all this too.
True enough. If he doesn't even show up after all this fuss he's made, everyone would feel like fools.
Probably going for another big grandstanding entrance like at the royal funeral.
Don't care what he's planning. Either way, he's dead meat.
Save your fury for the fight ahead. But still.
I got plenty of fury. I don't need to save it.
Over there! His Royal Highness the Prince has arrived.
Whoa, and Lady Juna as well.
I say, nothing wrong with an adoring public, but this is getting more claustrophobic than the engine room. We don't want to get stuck. I'm popping back in the room.
Let's head to the Hushed Honeybee Inn for now. I'm sure Maria will be happy to see us back.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Fabienne is just gonna be extremely pleased that we bring this monstrous crowd down upon her.
All the
You're gonna have to
customers
lock
say
the
they're
whole
on your
place up.
side. I was surprised at how popular you are.
Thanks for helping, Maria. We couldn't have done it without you.
I tried my very, very best.
I never thought Luis would be the one throwing down the gauntlet to you. If he'd survived, I'm sure he'd say the same. You'd better get some rest tonight. Come on, Maria. It's time you went to bed.
I wish we could stay up and talk more. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be cheering for you.
You're not going to the life or death spectacle, are you?
For Grius' sake, too.
Victory is in our grasp. We once thought it impossible to save His Highness the Prince, after all, and he now lives.
But without the king's wards, we'll be fighting on even ground. He won't make this easy on us.
The king's magic lived up to the legends. Capable of shaking the world itself. Every man, woman, and child has been at its whims for months.
Not the kind of power any of us want in Luis's hands.
But will this fight truly settle everything? By the spell's own rules, the throne will go to whoever wins the most support. Even after this battle, the crown's fate isn't set. We saw how the people's hearts have been whipped to dangerous passions. When the dust settles...
Whatever they make of it, we've come this far. All we can do now is finish our fight and strike to kill. Any less, and Luis will cut us down.
Indeed. Let us now devote ourselves to victory, and then worry of what comes after. We must believe in all we've yet accomplished.
This should be our last battle against Luis. I'm just trying to stay hopeful, knowing how far we've come. Now you've awoken your archetype.
Interesting
Forged
specification there,
friendships,
Gallica.
and taken so many burdens on your shoulders. You've really risen to this fight.
This is just the beginning. We've still got a long road ahead.
True enough. We haven't even won against Luis yet. And even when we do, that won't be the end of it. But it takes me back. If the prince could see you now, he'd be pretty proud of you. Don't you think? I mean, you and he were best friends. Best friends. Wait, what?
Were we best friends? We never really got, like, a good explanation of who the fuck we are and why we're on this quest. We were just part of the mystery village that is loyal to the prince and secretly taking care of him. What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Oh, sorry. I felt like I'd misspoke for a second or something. Don't mind me. Anyway, we'll make sure this is the end for Luis. Gotta report our victory to His Highness personally, right?
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That's got me, like, real suspicious. That's got me, like, suspicious that it's gonna be a scenario of, like, we're not a real person. We're like some homunculus they created to, like, double as the prince or some shit, and then, like, I just didn't remember that shit, or people's minds got... that had a weird feeling. That left a weird taste in my mouth. I don't know about that little interaction right there. That was fucking strange. Hey, Gallica 7! Finally.
It's like I'm seeing the prince smile again.
Need one more for Gallica.
Right. Let's get some rest. We'll need it come tomorrow.
So sus.
It's been a while.
Super sussy.
So?
Best way to prepare for tomorrow is by getting some rest. Is it?
That man...
I got ya.
Okay, this is our safety save. Go up here and save on 1.
It's time.
What now?
What are we currently at? We should set up. We should set up and be like, okay, what are we actually trying to do? I think realistically, we'll probably go back to general. And in general...
All right.
I kind of want to bring Heartbreak Stratagem. I've been thinking about that. Who else and what else are we thinking? kind of thinking Heisme coming in on Ninja. With a couple of different things. I'm thinking Shield Blessing.
All right.
But I think I might just take Aim. And so we have Agitator, or sorry, we have Adamant Nightblade, which is going to be the decrease and heavy. And then after that, what was it? Probably throw on Medi as a backup. I kind of want some stuff like ReFantazio so that we can stack up things like that more quickly. And then I think I'll take Magic Font. Else am I wanting? I'm thinking Juna. I'm thinking of just boosting her up to having Debilitate. Like, just straight up. So I would need to learn it first.
I see. Fascinating. This right. All right.
24,000?
I'm counting on you.
Of course.
Oh, damn.
Let's go.
Oh.
I'll always aim higher.
Alonso would be so proud, would he?
I knew I could do it.
Yeesh.
I've learned a new skill. I'll always aim higher.
Okay, so Debilitate I think would be very worthwhile for us. I kind of want to... we will have this with Heisme and the MC. Okay, I feel fine about that. Is there equipment? Yeah. Okay, so on that, what are we looking at? I kind of want to throw Shield Blessing on there.
All right.
Kind of want Magic Font on there. Kaja would be really nice. I want some sort of... Probably... Crimson Flame. Some sort of other spell to be able to utilize. Fine. And thinking about that, that kind of makes me want to put... instead of aim support, that kind of makes me want to put Shield Blessing on there.
All right.
We can't get that on main character, can we? That's fine. Okay, so I feel good about main character Heisme Juna. What do we need? Mage, Mass Dancer, or Summoner? Knight, Healer, or Commander? I want to bring in, like, Hulkenberg, maybe? That would give us... Oh, I don't really like Healing Shelter formation. Bluster Blast is pretty nice, but we have Ice Wolf. What's Hulkenberg rocking? She's on Paladin. She did finish Dark Knight. Warrior, Brawler, Berserker, Brawler, Merchant, Summoner. Beavis. Fearless Shadow seems fucking beast. And we would have that. But I don't know if he's gonna be, like, resistant to something like that. I'm interested in bringing Magic Counter, because it said Luis will basically do all of the things. What do we have going on here? I'm interested in that. I think we might flip her over to Dark Knight and see how that goes. Okay, so I think Shield Blessing.
All right.
Then I think I'm interested in the Holy Knight's Proclamation.
All right. All right.
We're gonna go with that for now. What else would we potentially be interested in? I guess just leaving other people on what they are on will be fine. Um, I kind of want to try this just to try it. Because we really haven't used basic attacks a whole hell of a lot. And it kind of sounds like it would be funny to just boost the shit out of his attack. You're on Magic Seeker. Fine. We're on Pugilist. Also fine. Not gonna worry about it that much. We're gonna save here again. Oh, we can go talk to other people. Thanks to Rella, we won quite a sudden groundswell of public support, but Luis' supporters number many still. The only way to get more support is to fight Luis and lay him low.
You know.
All the customers at the inn say they're cheering for you. You've beaten a lot of bad guys already, haven't you? I'm sure you'll win.
At last.
This is it. Standing here takes me back to the royal funeral. But today, we are more powerful than we were then. This time, we'll defeat Luis and avenge Grius. All who have gone too soon.
It's coming up.
Finally time. I'm almost impressed that Luis would challenge us to a fair fight, unlike those church bastards who keep everything in the shadows. We can't let Luis get anywhere near the throne. We charge in with our best foot forward for us and for Rella, who trusted us to do just that.
Make yourself at home.
Tomorrow's battle will be historic, won't it? I've readied your bed so that you can rest well. Maybe tomorrow is the final fight. Maybe this is actually going to be the final fight, and then the game will just, like, let us hang out for... Maybe it'll be, like, post-game for a month. What's up, Mappa? Now? What's up? Okay. Good momento. We'll be right back. BRB. I like to see that we're talking about random RPG abrupt endings. Yeah, Aiden Chronicles kind of did that to me. Pillars of Eternity 2 definitely did that to me. Although I went back and played Pillars of Eternity 2 another 2 times actually. One was the 100% that we did for the stream, but I also went back and played through it just kind of like just cause. Pretty focused, like quick shot through the game scenario, and the pacing did not feel nearly as strange when you're primarily just doing story content. Even then though, the end was still like, wait, what? Because it was super ambiguous, and the final fight was just like, wait, what? Excuse me?
But then...
So. Alright, I think that's it. Let's go to bed. See how this works out for us.
Good night.
What? What is gonna happen? Are we assaulted in the middle of the night? Hey, Zorba.
At long last, my lord, our investigations have borne fruit. We know where the true prince lies.
I was about to say, I mentioned it already. They're gonna bring the prince into this somehow.
Those loyalists who disappeared with the prince led us right to him. We found traces of their coming and going.
Where was he hiding?
Far to the west of the royal capital, deep within a forest said to bewitch those who should wander in. An old village, erased from today's maps. That said, against all odds, it seems that this place is...
The lost village of the Elder. Last trampled by Fortin's troops, sent to burn it to the ground.
We just had a whole ass Elder village? I didn't realize that was the hidden village, was just the Elder village.
You knew then?
I see now. To hide in a place publicly declared as destroyed. Quite a gambit. The prince was born there, you know. An illegitimate son, after the past king's heart was drawn to a woman of the village in his youthful years of debauchery.
What? Then the prince really does bear elder blood.
Fortin did not raise the village for any defiance of his scriptures. He thought only to eliminate an inconvenient heir, a threat to his power, before his birth was known. The prince's survival, his complete disappearance, this was the missing piece. Zorba, go and snuff them out for good.
Sir, consider them annihilated. I've been hoping for an opportunity to test this newfound power.
Why are you naked under that, Zorba?
The battle at the royal capital looms. I must begin my own preparations.
So we beat Luis, and then Zorba is gonna go Super Saiyan. Everyone's naked under their clothes? Fuck you, Jay. Fuck you.
If you call yourself the prince, then I will give you a prince's end. And I have just the spell to do it.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Really? Maybe.
Good morning. Did you sleep well? Ready to face the day?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
No hesitation at all. You've really grown out there.
But you have to come back, no matter what, okay?
I confess my mind strays back to the royal funeral. Yet we are more than we ever
How'd you
were
know the answer
then.
from Jeopardy? The line
Now
to which
we
the
have the
wardrobe
power to see this
malfunction?
through.
What?
Let's get out there, thrash
sounds
him,
wild.
and come back here to celebrate.
Never thought we'd find ourselves back at the Grand Cathedral for the final showdown. Let's pull ourselves together, ready our supplies, and give him hell.
Let's head there.
Can we talk? Just sublime.
All right. You think it was a before and after category? That sounds about right. Snag here. 24th. Double check our party.
now?
I think our party is incorrect. Cilia, so let's throw Heisme in. And we're putting Hulkin. This is the planned party.
Oh, this blooming heat.
I'm off.
Well, stranger things have happened.
I love it.
Yes, yes.
Well, whoever's king next. Hopefully
Well then, if you say you'll
I'll take the crown now. Weather like this, no telling what, lad.
Say there.
I'm chuffed.
Hey, y'all are in the way. Sure, let's fucking go.
Well, bit of a tricky situation. Can't exactly say I'm the tournament's official crier anymore, things being what they are. I mean, Sanctifex Forden and St. Rella are gone. Bluntly speaking, there is no tournament anymore. But like hell, if that's gonna stop me, as a lone citizen watching over the future of our country, you can look to me for the latest news on this upcoming fight. Woo! Live free, crier! Fight the power!
Fight the power?
Very
What?
good. Let's begin, shall we?
What power is he fighting?
The day of judgment is here. The final fight between Luis, military paragon and one-man army, and the boy who claims to be the fallen prince. The entire continent's eyes are on this battle, folks, and only one of them's walking away. Let's see a show of true strength, worthy of our new king.
Your Highness, you can win. Give Luis the boot.
Count Luis! Kill that imposter!
It looks to
Beautiful
me like
florist
Luis
is
isn't even bothered to
bloodthirsty.
show at the royal capital.
Oh, there's no way he'd run away from this. Anytime now. Anytime.
Whoa, over there! It's Luis's gauntlet runner! And so the leading candidate finally makes his appearance.
He just starts shooting the cathedral down again. I could see that.
Luis.
How'd he get down? That's my question. Does he just, like, jump and superhero landing on us?
The two titans of this race have finally come face to face. Let's introduce our candidates once again for this final bout. Our first candidate, Count Luis. Adopted son of a minor nobleman, he rose to fame on his incredible military merits, quelling domestic conflicts and almost becoming our nation's youngest general. Suspected of attacking His Highness, he was denounced and cast down, but his name has since been cleared, and now here he stands, closest to the throne. Then we have the Elden candidate, he who claims to be none other than His Highness, the Prince. Though his identity is uncertain, his strength is undeniable. Through his campaign, we've seen his team flourish, counting even the songstress Juna among them. The time has come to demonstrate his power. Will it be enough for this youth to take the throne?
Along with Basilio, who used to be one of Luis's 2 right-hand men.
I have to commend you. A lesser man would have run. This all began with the king's failures. He was an unworthy ruler, and his incompetence bred the chaos that followed. You, who claim to be the prince, what do you believe the people seek
Just
in their
foaming
king?
at the mouth. None of these things. What do I believe the people seek in their king? Compassion. That's what I believe people seek in authority to govern them. They don't want someone to step on them. They want someone to look at them and go, oh yeah, let's try to make things better for you. None of these. None of these options. I will say, there's been plenty of times in this game, like, love the game, absolutely love the game, think it's a great game. There's been a lot of times where it's like, it feels like there's an obvious option that should be present, and the game doesn't present it. It's like, no, you don't get to pick that choice. And it's like, but isn't that what the main character would choose? Intellect, I guess?
The intellect to resolve everything.
Can intellect alone protect the people? In the end, words are nothing against power. Now let me ask you, my gathered people, what is it that makes a king?
Power! My Lord Luis, kill him now!
Beautiful forest is just bloodthirsty.
Your Highness, show us your power!
Young candidate, have you or your party any final speeches before the duel?
We have only one thing to say. Wake up! Luis's fair world is barbaric. A land where the strong prey on the weak. He promises protection, but he is the very man who would see you slain. Hear this! Luis ordered my home destroyed by a human. Are we a land of animals? Or are we a nation united in the protection of the weak, in raising up our neighbors?
He's the type of man who will kill anyone who gets in his way. If you crown him king, I know the country will burn. Rella said as much.
People, do not let your hearts falter. I desire but one thing, a world without inequality. And I shall gladly offer my shield to all of those who follow this ideal. Those who do not, however, will be slain without mercy or regret. It could not be simpler.
If your equality means you will sacrifice the people who need help most, then I deny your world!
So, you think you have the strength to protect the weak? Then prove to me these are more than empty words.
Oh.
Come then,
He does look
and act your part in this showdown.
like a badass.
I have a new world to build.
He does look like
and
a
you
badass.
will die in its name.
The time has come.
I need a peril
We're finishing
emote,
this,
don't I?
Here and now. Looks
Luis?
like we can't brute force through this one.
You burn. Oh, he's got nothing to steal, Jay! I don't have to steal from him. That's great.
I must now accept your fate.
Okay. Let's try an Adamant Nightblade and see if that is gonna
Some
work.
darker arts.
We settle this here.
Hit rate and
Lend me
evasion
your
down. We go for it?
No, let's go. Maybe not. I'm all prepared.
Let's try it out.
Nothing back.
We'll start.
Here.
We'll start just
Much
buffing.
thanks.
Thank you.
This is
defy
just
the
what
rules.
I
And we
need.
are going
Then
to
die by it.
debilitate.
Going for the weak spot.
I will annihilate you! Come, accept my challenge.
What was that?
I see your
Bell.
game.
Finesse!
Miss.
Beautiful dodge, Heisme! You've got a bunch of ailments slowing you down, Captain!
Jesus. Well, that doesn't make me feel
Justice
great.
prevail. Not join with me.
I just want to see it, honestly.
Behold my power.
Oh, power of kings!
Pretty decent.
Rancor!
I see.
That's finesse!
Come,
Beautiful
accept my
dodge,
challenge.
Heisme!
My strength.
You've got a bunch of ailments slowing you down, Captain!
We'll do this together.
Show them our might.
Let me help.
Thank you.
Quite a boon.
That dodge tanking, it's going pretty good so far.
Even white lie.
I call
gonna
upon
lie.
a royal soul.
Come. I'll run you through.
I will annihilate you! Can you endure it?
Unlock affinity? Uh-oh.
Now that's finesse! Beautiful dodge, Heisme!
Get fucked. Heisme is eating his turns. Absolutely. Heisme is eating his turns. But that repel, I think, also would have just eaten his turn. So that's pretty cool.
Then again, now we strike.
Give
I
it
just
all
wanna see
you've
it.
got.
Honestly, I'm just kind of like looking at new moves.
Critical hit!
We
Heisme's
settle
a
this
real
here.
I'm all prepared.
Go.
We'll take that.
Here.
That helped.
Much thanks.
I'm obliged.
I'll give you the
This is just what I need.
A bit much, actually.
Wait, did that remove all of his debuffs? Uh-oh.
I call upon a royal soul.
Looks like that removed all of his debuffs. I thought it was just gonna remove any.
There's no escape
Yeah,
for
that
me.
removed all of his debuffs. That's not good.
Oh, power of heroes. With blade in hand. Is that all?
Can you endure it? I strike to kill! Come, accept my challenge.
Tactic.
Oh, power of kings! Some darker arts.
You defy the rule of strength, then
We'll
die
do this
by it.
together.
Tis yours.
Let me help.
Thanks.
My thanks.
Thank you.
Trickster.
I will annihilate you! Can you endure it? Come, accept my challenge.
Seriously?
Nice one, Captain.
3 misses and a repel. Nice.
Let us fight as one.
Pretty nice.
Let my power
Gonna
support
hit him with fearless.
There is no escape from me.
Face me! Mustn't settle for the easy way. Now
Let's throw out
accept
a
your
Medi.
fate.
I knew you'd help.
That helped.
I'm obliged.
This absolutely
I
feels like
see.
this is like a phase
It would
1.
appear you have the mettle to defend your claims. Then I need not hold back either.
Oh, 4
Can you
icons,
endure
eh?
it? I strike
Okay.
to kill. What?
I'll
see.
say.
Hurt a little. Hurt a little.
Let's work together.
Strike true.
Hurt a little.
Here.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Quite a boon.
What's needed?
Even white light. I'll show you. Let's not. Let's get some use out of this.
That helped.
Much thanks.
I'm obliged. By the Dark Knight. Pierce through them!
I will annihilate you!
Will you?
Can you endure it?
Dodge! Nice one, Captain.
That fucking repel shit fucks him up.
Ninja! Rancor!
I will fight with pride. Better conserve. Lend me your strength.
Go!
Let me help.
Thanks.
Quite a boon.
Thank you.
You
Watch
defy the
me.
rule of strength, then die by it.
This might sting.
Can you endure it?
Great job, everyone. Talk about a close call.
I see your
4
claim.
misses. Just dodge, 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 dodge. Absolutely. Just all the dodges. Oh, every dodge in the book. That's pretty fun.
Dark Knight. As the point of a sword.
Good. Very
Okay,
good.
here we go.
Yours
Here
is a
we go
worthy
for real.
power, one untainted by petty tactics or cheap tricks.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure giving you all of the stat downs and giving me all of the stat ups count as cheap tricks. If he unlocks a phase 3 at 25% health, are already happening.
However, magnificent. You truly have become more powerful. But I would expect no less of a remnant of humankind. You're a survivor of a lost tribe, aren't you?
So Eldas as a tribe are legitimately just humans. That's what I thought. I think I guessed that pretty early on. But like everyone else has some sort of like other evolution or mutation or something like that. And Eldas are just people. they're just people.
Humankind?
Because he's elder, you would call him a monster.
You should know the truth by now. After all that time I allowed you to spend on that pagan island. History as told by the Sanctus Church is a fiction. No doubt you saw all the evidence of a truer history. One that told of ancient times where the land was ruled by a far different people.
You mean the legends according to the murals and ruins from the temple?
Yufa! Don't humor him.
But if that war between gods truly did come to pass...
Gods? How droll. They may have governed all things with works far beyond ours, but they were no gods. They were an ancient tribe unlike any other race, now lost. Wielders of true magic. The modern age saw them called Elder, shunned from our cities. But in their time, they were known as humankind.
I thought humans were those mad monsters. What are you trying to say now?
Luis, you dog.
Your lies will soil His Highness's name no longer.
You believe it false? What would I stand to gain from lies?
Elda are actually humankind? Why wouldn't I know that?
Hear me!
Game's totally given us,
His
like, this
appearance as a
twist
boy
going on with Gallica
mere
and
trickery.
the main character
In
now.
truth, he is humankind! He is kin to the feral monstrosities that roam this land, leaving carnage in their wake.
He doesn't know when to give up. No one would believe this madness.
Using dog as a derogatory term when the Parapus as a tribe seems not great, right?
No need to distress yourself.
You're not wrong.
I'll show you the proof. You, boy, who call yourself the prince. You will be the cornerstone upon which my utopia is built.
Utopia?
Uh-oh. He can control humans.
What's happening?
Hey! What is him?
Y'all just gonna let him do this to me?
Good people, you would know the identity of your would-be prince. Here he is!
Uh-oh. Did we just attack on Titan?
He's a monster! It's a human!
We just attacked on Titan, didn't we?
The truth of the humans is laid bare.
Yeah.
They're no
We totally
beasts,
just...
but another form of the Elder Tribe. Cast aside their guise with magic, and they reveal their true colors. He is no royalty, no boy, but a ruthless fiend intent on your throne!
It's not true! It has to be one of the Count's illusions!
What illusion? That's no prince! It's a monster! It'll kill us all! Run!
What has become of him?
It must be Luis's wicked magic. Yet, the aura of Magla, it's exactly like a human's.
He's not!
He's a human.
Hey! Snap out of it! You have to
A lot cooler looking than the absolute mess most of them look like? Yeah. Most of them look terrible. But presumably that's because of, I don't know, centuries of just terrible mutations. To help anyone in need. Was it too idealistic? Was it too naive to win?
Afraid.
Luis called it trickery. And even my very body.
Be not afraid, child. 'Tis not thy true self. 'Tis not thy true fate.
Who are you? What do you know about it?
In this moment, thy mind is disturbed, twisted by the power of that man. The time has come. Thou must face the truth deepest within thee.
What's that about?
Remember again thy true self, the purpose of thy birth.
Are we actually the prince? How about the whole two eyes thing is going on? Right, I took on a mission to save the prince.
An ideal world. Even if reality crushes everything I believe in, even if my ideals languish, I know I can trust you to see them through. It's always been that way. Whenever my life's been the hardest, you are always there to help me through it.
Were we the prince's twin brother all along?
After all, you're mine.
You're my what game?
Wake up!
Thank you, Jay. My what?
Are you well?
I had a strange dream.
Phew. You seem coherent at least. We saw you take on a terrible, monstrous form. We knew not what to do.
I don't stop Luis from doing what he was doing.
Magic poured into you. It was eating away at your body and mind, but I've managed to suppress it. He may be back with us, but without rest, he will surely succumb to the spell. I don't know if he can withstand the same magic a second time.
I will not let you die.
It would appear the throne is now mine in every sense. None remain to oppose me. Your vengeance is at hand. Will you not finally slay the monster and avenge your people?
Shut up!
Unfortunately, the prince is finished either way. Both this imposter and the true prince at death's door, deep in the woods.
The true prince? You bastard! What have you done?
Bloody hell! Is that why he called us here? It was all just a bloody distraction!
Your part in this has ended. Go where you wish, but I advise you run fast if you would outpace your hunters.
Seize the monster! I don't care if you have to kill it!
Attention now. This looks dire.
How could you deceive us? I knew all along that filthy lowborn was hiding something. Monster!
We retreat to our gauntlet runner. We must find him safe haven to rest.
It won't be long until the entire kingdom hears of this mess. We've no safe haven left.
Gallica, we've only got one option now. I'm worried about the prince too.
I know. We'll head to my home, and the prince's refuge. The Elden Sanctum.
$513? What? We went from second to 513.
Count Luis has saved the country. He has driven off the human who sought to usurp it.
Count Luis is our true savior.
Sounds like we've got our next king, then.
Might as well fall in with him. He'll keep us safe from any humans at the very least.
They'll be all right, won't they?
That boy is no monster. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Luis! What the hell did he do? Stay safe out there, boy. The flow of that evil Magla was surely born from Luis's
Why
magic.
the fuck are you here?
What a terrifying force. I'll remember that sight for the rest of my days. But he hasn't got you beat yet, my friend. You can't tell me the fight's over.
Oh, Jesus! Holy shit! Oh, it just keeps getting worse!
Why?
How did this happen? Anyhow, there's no time to waste. Let's set our course for the ancient Elden Sanctum. Yeah, fuck you! Oh god! It got so bad! We spent so long clawing our way up
than it was a departure.
helping people.
They board the gauntlet runner and rush from the capital, as though hiding from the shrieking animosity of the masses. What more can they endure? There is no light to be seen.
A hiding place for the Elder Tribe. Wonders never cease.
We can marvel at it later. The mirror hasn't shown me anything for a while. I can't even see the room now, let alone the prince.
No. Just after we'd finally resolved the curse, too.
Luis's final words trouble me. We must hurry on.
At first glance, it is a simple forest, deep as any other. But the observant may sense that every tree in its formation is ancient and grand, bathed in mystical serenity. The name of this place is familiar only to the few who grasp the truth. The ancient Elden Sanctum.
Can you walk, lad?
That's a relief. Seems like the rest
Lord
on the
Forrest,
right here did him some good.
Poor chap's even got me worried. I'll shuffle along too.
Hey, I reacted poorly when you were turned into that thing. I apologize. My mind just went blank. For a moment, I doubted you. Forgive me. I should have recognized Luis's drivel for what it was.
Surprised the fuck out of me too.
I don't blame you.
I did not call that
Certainly
one.
caught
I
me
did
by
not
surprise.
call Luis being able to turn Eldens into humans. I don't think he said that was a new power that he was wanting to test out, so I mean I think he couched it that way. Zorba also couched, you know, having a new power that he wanted to experiment with, but I think Luis also said he wanted to do it, so I don't think Luis has been going around creating humans out of Elda this entire time, but who knows?
And here's hoping there can be no surprises worse than that.
But what a sea of trees.
Prince to save, let's
if we
go!
get lost in here, we're never getting out.
I can sense a special barrier in place. Meant to deliberately lead people astray, too. A perfect place to hide.
Gallica, how fares His Highness? Does the Farsight Mirror yield any news?
No. I checked a bunch of times in the Gauntlet Runner. I'm not seeing anything. I'm worried.
Hurry and lead the way.
Just who is
Right.
Gallica and why
Everyone
can't she
stay close
remember
so we don't get
specific
separated.
things?
The village is this way.
Lives in a world where people can make their own future just like you. He's the only one who could set that dream, see that dream become a reality. You're right. Let's go. Oop. How's the memoranda gonna tick right when what do we got? Ancient Elden Sanctum. Sacred village of the Elda tribe located north of the Principality of Oceania. Hidden deep within an uncharted forest on the northwestern side of the continent, it is the place of refuge sought by the prince after being cursed in Grand Trad. Once a small city located above ground in the forest, it was senselessly set on fire at Forden's command, which led its residents to move their domiciles underground to feign annihilation. The settlement is hardly glamorous and small by nature, but the sanctum has nevertheless preserved the lost history and knowledge of the old world, giving it a somewhat otherworldly atmosphere. Has it? Okay. Interesting. Unfettered Maria. Though she used to be much more withdrawn, Maria is now friends with other children in town and plays outside with them with increasing frequency. Heart to see her smiling more. Fabian and the honeybee regulars continue to watch over her with smiles of their own. She has also been taking small steps towards her new dream of going on a trip by asking Hulkenberg and Nereus about traveling in Gauntlet Runners when they...
Huh?
Looks like... Oop. Was spoken.
Who are you?
Okay. I'm gonna try to reserve my opinion, my instinctive reaction on what's transpiring now until after we get a little further in and I see how it kind of pans out.
Are you alright?
I head swimming. What is this place?
The royal flower? A surprise to see them blooming here.
Something about this place. Yes. The flow of Magla is strong here. It is much like the altar of the dragon god. The Magla in the air seems to be concentrated here. What is this place?
Gallica, something the matter? Your mind seems elsewhere.
Oh, sorry. I've got this weird feeling that something really important happened here.
You were born
Anyway,
here?
let's keep
Brought
moving.
into existence here? Hey, Zorba!
So here you are at last.
Asshole.
Why?
Before I left home, I never knew that these flowers represented royalty. But what are they doing within the ancient sanctum?
How odd. This place is clearly in ruins, but it doesn't look like natural decay.
It was burned to the ground. One day, a bunch of kingdom soldiers showed up out of the blue. Without so much as a reason. They made an inferno of the place.
But why? Why would His Majesty order such an atrocity?
Thinking back now, it may have been Forden who led the charge. I can't be certain. But if it was up to him, he would have done it just to purge the filthy Elda tribe.
Luis claimed that the Elden people were just another form of the humans. If he spoke true...
They're not. There's no way. Anyway, more than half of the villagers died in the fire. And those who survived were forced to hide in caves. That way everyone would think they were wiped out.
Big yawn.
'Tis a shrewd ploy indeed, to hide in a place the enemy themselves saw destroyed. Yet, why did Alcest? No matter. His Highness is in this cave, correct?
Yes, over there. What? That...
He draws no breath. Likely a stab in the back. I doubt he even had time to shout.
I recognize him. He was the associate of the first operative I came in contact with. He was a lot more skilled than those Sanctist warrior monks. But now...
Gallica, the cave is just ahead, yes?
Yes.
Not.
It's past the woods, over
Let's
there.
Stop dilly-dally, shilly-shallying.
I don't like this.
This Magla that I'm sensing, I'm worried about the prince. We need to hurry over to the hideout on the lower level. Fairies? A fairy. I think they'd feel a little alarmed if we all swarm in on them as a big group like this. For now, let's leave them be and move on. Mostly just moving on. Fairly old Ujif man. It seems like he's working to lay a body to rest.
Russell? You're safe!
Huh? My word. Is that you, Gallica?
You were His Highness's tutor.
Hmm? I know but one red-tressed knight. Are you the royal guard? The Lady Hulkenberg? By the heavens. Then...
She's been helping us. Everyone here is a trusted ally. They've all fought to save the prince.
Alas. Oh, what a tragedy. If this reunion had only been a moment sooner.
Russell, where is His Highness? What happened? Is His Highness safe?
A few days ago, those detestable cursed thorns finally faded. I cannot tell you how long I had waited to see them gone. It was truly a joy beyond words. It happened before we could fathom it. A lone stranger, a loathsome figure, came striding in. His Highness had only just regained consciousness since the curse's lifting. Yet, to protect us, he threw himself upon the assassin's blade. We were horror-struck. His Highness lay pierced through the heart, and we saw him breathe his last.
No, that can't be true.
Suspicious.
The stranger was a master of magic. None could match him. Of the Resistance's numbers, only I remain.
Suspicious.
Who was responsible for this?
I don't know who the murderer was, but he cried his patron's name aloud as he did the deed. For Count Luis. From the moment he appeared, I believe his sole purpose was to kill His Highness. As soon as the lifelight left the prince's eyes, the stranger left, with only a smile.
Why is everyone else dead?
An innocent boy. Twice tormented in the clutches of assassins. All because of the family he was born into.
Luis, there really is no evil you won't stoop to.
Please, Russell. Where is the prince?
Points to that hump in the ground.
We've laid him in the prayer room for now, at the end of the cave. He rests just this way.
We? Is that the royal we?
You're coming, aren't you, love?
I must go to him.
Yeah, we're gonna be like a piece of his soul or something like that. There's something weird amok.
You're right. Maybe we'll find some way to help.
Ah, I'd heard a rumor that there was a boy candidate who claimed to be His Highness. So, that was you?
Shouldn't he know us? Right? Like, shouldn't we be a person who lived here? One of the few remaining survivors after the attack? Where this place where the prince retreated to? We were the prince's best friend?
'Tis just as St. Rilla said. You're no scoundrel. Indeed, you risked life and livelihood to see His Highness restored. Strange. Something in you reminds me of His Highness.
We were His Highness all along!
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing. Well, I will go before you to the prayer room. Once you are ready, you are free to join me.
What are you doing, game? What's the play here? Before I go to the prince, I think I'll help Russell lay this body to rest.
You going to stay here?
No. I must bear witness myself. As his knight, I must.
Russell, an elderly Yuji man who first encountered in the ancient Elden Sanctum. Alongside Grius, he was one of the aides who elected to secretly move the prince from the royal palace, and is the last of them remaining. A renowned scholar of history and politics, he was employed by the royal palace as the prince's tutor. While charging a Yuji with the royal's education was a highly controversial decision, it serves to demonstrate the ambitions the former king had in his lifetime. Okay.
I'm a little worried.
I need to get to the prince as quickly as I can, but we stopped to bury bodies. Prince is in the prayer. The verbiage that the game is using is starting to get I made this comment already. Like, it was really tight in the beginning of the game, and it felt like very, like, chosen very specifically. And now it feels like it's getting looser and looser in these scenarios. The prince is in the prayer room on the lower level. I don't want to believe it, but we need to see him for ourselves.
It's nearly time.
Excuse me? What? What was that mystery voice?
Long have I waited.
I thought he said everyone else was dead. Okay, not everyone else is dead.
Beg pardon?
That can't be. Are you truly Elda? You're an Elda from the outside? Yeah, none of these people recognize my ass.
Hey, you.
Associated with the group that's been sheltering the prince? It's all because of them that another calamity has befallen us. Now that I get a closer look at you, are you Elda? I heard that the prince was the only Elda within the resistance. I heard the prince...
You must hurry. The
Fine.
time has come.
What?
All was for this day. There is still time.
Sure. What?
Hello there.
There's so many people to talk to.
Hello.
Beyond this door is the place the organization has been using as hideout. Or should I say, it was beyond this door. Other than the elderly Russell, the rest of them are... Perhaps we brought this on ourselves, but still, also dreadful.
Oh, wow! Oh, it's you!
Beyond here lies the Altar of Secret History, sanctuary which houses the true story of our people in the world. Kindly refrain from making any loud noises lest you startle the fairies.
Come off it.
I heard that the Elder are considered a sullied tribe to the outside world. Perhaps that's reflected in the current state of affairs. That child is royalty, yet his life has been defined by tragedy beyond anything that I've experienced. To think that there are those who would see such a child as no more than prey to be slain. To look upon a mere boy such as he and revile him, their souls are truly cursed. This man-child woke up after such a long nap and then went right back to sleep. Got it wrong, he's not sleeping. Why do you look so sad? In fact, why is everyone so sad? Play for a little and you'll cheer right up. When this person wakes up, we should play together. Oof.
Hey.
Russell the Prince's His Highness. Oh, Highness. You to forfeit your life in order to save ours only mean that we have truly failed you. There can be no atonement, no penance, to match the magnitude of our failure.
This way.
okay for being pierced through the heart. He's got a very
Highness.
okay look to his chest. Damn. They changed his shirt, you monster. Sure, fine.
Why?
I didn't realize anyone still remained to weep over this child. Huh? Gallica! You've returned!
Milady Gruide. It's been a long time.
May I ask who this is?
She is the chiefess of this village. The Hermitess Gruide.
She was kind enough to shelter the entire organization when His Highness fled to these woods.
I can't believe he's gone. I'm just some parapus orphan from the slums. I was never supposed to outlive any prince.
Can I help you?
Was he killed here?
No. It all happened in the bunk room in the back. We moved him here to the altar once all was quiet. I don't know if you'd believe me, but I received a revelation. Should the prince die, his body should be kept safe and still here until the rightful day comes, even if the boy is but a bastard sired by that despicable man. He is still Her Majesty's son.
Despicable? What, you mean the king? Wait, who's Her Majesty?
Do you know nothing of the child's mother? The boy was not brought across borders to us. He was born here, in the ancient sanctum. His mother was our past chiefess, the queen of our elder tribe. She was a flower amidst the forests, a woman of such beauty, grace, and kindness. She saved this child from the flames.
Says hello, Mappa.
And it cost her her life. Her death is on that man's hands. Like a piper, he wandered in and seduced the young queen with his idealistic tales. But he failed to protect his family and died powerless. The village was only set ablaze because the boy was in the way of the Sanctus Church's designs on the throne. And that insipid king could do nothing to stop them. But you see...
He's like, no.
This boy...
Stop it.
His Highness the Prince looks so much like Her Majesty. And so... You there, boy. Are you perhaps... no, it can't be.
Young man, look at him.
And yet...
Is something amiss, Milady Gruide? He is one of Gallica's allies. His loyalty stands with His Highness, and he has risked much in the prince's name.
Whoa! What's with the formal introduction? You were the one who gave us our orders in the first place.
Hurry.
Hey, are you okay?
The time has come. Here thou camest to the end of thy journey. This secret place was home to thee. Now, remember thy path thus far. Walk thy life's road and see it anew. I have been waiting for thee to overcome thy trials. Long have I waited for thy return.
Ugh. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. She's really big. She's really, really big. Don't do it.
Know this. His life is not yet ended.
This voice.
It all started on that ill-fated day when the usurper thought to extinguish his light. Before he fades away, recount all thou hast seen and felt. All thou hast gained in thy journey's course.
I look now to the past. I see the roads I traveled on this journey.
Gallica and thee sought to take the head of Luis, but thy efforts came to naught. So, ye moved instead to join a tournament to decide the land's king.
In the prince's name.
Though thy plan was reckless, thou didst win the trust of the people by the support of peers and subjects alike. Thus, thou didst declare thyself the prince.
It was all a mistake. It was for victory.
It was all for victory.
After overcoming many obstacles, thou didst finally lift the prince's curse. Yet by the cruel machinations of another, the young prince
is no longer with us.
Thy sole mission was to save the prince. Bereft of him, thou hast no further reason to live.
That's not true.
That's not true.
If the prince is dead, wert thy efforts all for naught?
His will lives on.
So thy resolve is yet unbroken. So be it. Thou hast earned the truth. He was consumed by the curse, and was taken by a deep, abiding slumber. Yet his soul remained alive. So from his earthly form, I extracted his soul, that he might travel the land in Odyssey. And thus his stilled sands began to flow once more. Thy journey hast taken thee far, and taught thee much. So now I ask thee, who art thou?
None of these are the option that I believe. None of these are the options I believe.
I'm the prince's friend.
Is that truly thy role? Clear your mind and think, to name but a few. Thy parents, memories of thy youth? Hast thou any recollection of where and how thy youngest years were spent?
I wanted to say that I was the prince.
Yes.
They wouldn't let me.
Thy memories begin the moment thou befriend the prince. Dost thou suspect the reason?
Pay attention, man. Fuck you.
I don't have a past.
As I said, thou hast nothing. Thou art a being of mine own creation. 'Twas Gallica alone who the Resistance laid their hopes upon all those days past. Thy life had yet to begin. All thou hadst, all that had been bestowed, was a memory. Thy mission to save the prince. Thy memories of youth in the prince's company, and the void enshrouding all else in thy past. All signs of thy conjured existence.
I have nothing?
Nay, the words of the prince in thy memory are unmistakably of his true heart. The memories gained on thy journey, the friendships made, the trust forged. These true things art thine own. All thy trials, all thy experiences wert to prepare thee for this day, to share the strength thou hast gained with thy other self.
Word.
Do you mean...
The trust and friendship I've gained has been there to support me. But if they'd known I came from nothing, that I am nothing, will have stood by me, believed in me. Same goes for the desire to help anyone in need. How is it that I've touted such a laughably idealistic belief this long? What?
Accept the truth, and thou wilt face an ordeal beyond any you have yet faced.
What?
If thy desire is instead for freedom, thou mayest still abandon thy mission and end it here.
Is that right?
My true identity is...
So I bid thee answer my final question. Who art thou in truth?
Can you legitimately... I'm just gonna say I'm the prince, but I really want to know what happens if I say I refuse to know. I really want to just be like, bye-bye. He only had to ask 3 times? Fuck you, Jay. I never got this as a choice.
I am... the prince.
I would have said many different other things throughout all of these questions. I have opinions, I have thoughts.
What is this? I feel a curious resonance.
Could this be? But how? Impossible.
Hey, what's going on?
What awaits us now?
Hark, life is not yet lost. Thou wert born apart from the prince's flesh, born of his desire to change the world. In his stead didst thou travel the world. Thou didst support his heart, and became his living fantasy. That is thy true self. Thou art everything the prince sought to be, his ideal.
Princess OC. Nice. Very nice. I like it.
It all began with the novel in thy possession. Drawn by the divine relic, Magla coalesced into flesh, and flesh coalesced into form. The form of an elder, as I once was.
I was gonna say, are you mom?
The time hath come. Awaken, reborn anew. No more the prince's dream of utopia thou wouldst chase. Nay, but thine own.
Oh shit! We're gonna combine! Do I get different hair? I get different hair. Oh shit! Combination hair! My hairstyle, his hair color! Also, our eyes changed. Okay. That just looks like Baby Stroll. Okay. I really needed to see that from the front, because that just looked like Baby Stroll for a second.
Thou hast done well to guide him this far.
This voice. I'm sure I've heard it before.
Thy mind should now be clearing. Remember now thy true charge. He was never a member of the Resistance. The mission, the departure, was thine alone. And thereafter didst thou encounter him.
Who are you? Wait, what am I saying?
In those long ago days, he had just been born into this land. Newborn in form, if not in appearance, the boy needed a guide. Thus, I decided his memories would be thine. Thou wouldst share past and purpose.
I mean, you gotta fuck Gallica over here.
To suit thee. My journey to the capital would not be made alone, but alongside him.
No. That can't be. He was there when we got our orders.
I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes.
I swear to God, you press a
cannot
button.
Fail.
I'm gonna get mad.
No. But... I was alone?
By this choice, he might be saved. By these gentle, necessary lies, we could live to see this day when our dearest wish is fulfilled. As he traveled alongside thee, he gained both strength and wisdom. It is only by thy efforts that my voice reached him. He has now been saved. And so the journey ends here. Thou hast fulfilled thy mission admirably.
What? Wait just a minute.
Yeah.
What do you mean, it ends here?
From here on, thy path is thy own. Choose thy own future for thyself, and may the fates smile on thy journey.
Down with you.
How do we make sense of this?
Is it really you? How do you feel?
I feel fine, I think.
There seems to be no doubt. He is still himself, but I also sense His Highness within him.
Everyone? I need to tell you something. The truth is...
So let me get
so
this
we don't have to
straight.
go through all that
You're
again.
saying it's not a matter of our captain and His Highness joining together, but that the former was this disembodied entity sprung from the latter?
Then that's why he had no memories? 'Cause he didn't even exist?
Was Luis lying about the Elda being humans, or was that just a trick that you were vulnerable to because you weren't really an Elda at all? I think neither. I think that Luis is correct, but only in the most technical sense of the term. I do not believe that the Elda of this village, for instance, wander out into the forest and then become humans, and so are the humans that everyone knows and fears. I believe these Elda and humans as we have known them in the game have an origin point that they share, being this world, modern society, right? And then the calamity that happened caused some of humankind to turn into the monstrosities that are humans, and some of humankind to continue on to become what is now known as the Elda, but they're two separate things with a common denominator. But I think what that means is that Elda are susceptible to the magic that Luis is using as like a corrupting force, right? And my assumption is that the magic that he's using is somehow in relation to the original calamity, right? Yeah, a common ancestor kind of thing, right? Like if you take like you and me, right? Like the calamity happens, you survive it, go on to have a line that turns into the Elda. I mutate and turn into an abomination that terrorizes the world. Continue on, more humans, more Elda, more humans, more Elda, down through history, right? And it's just, my assumption is the power that Luis is now using is in relation to the original calamity, and thus has that kind of like capability of warping humans, or Elda in this case, into humans, would be my assumption. But we don't know that much yet.
I see. Finally, I understand the strange feeling I had sensed upon our meeting. What shaped you, so to speak, was the prince's will itself, a part of his consciousness. Yes, the prince's very heart. He was his soul given flesh. Perhaps the form we knew was one shaped by material magla, much like how the dragon god manifests beyond the vessel Dracadios.
A mass of magla with a will. Forget the dragon god. He may as well have been a dragon himself. Small wonder he awakened to an archetype before anyone else. It was no great aptitude for magic. He himself was composed of pure magla.
The self, as a manifestation of one's desires. Similar to archetypes. I suppose this is the very essence of magic.
You mean to say that it was not merely pretense to claim the prince's name? He truly was His Highness all along?
If that's true, this is finally your reunion with your sworn liege. Seems like cause for rejoicing, eh? Lady Hulkenberg of the Royal Guard.
But I failed to protect His Highness.
No. I am sure the strength of your devotion had a hand in saving him.
You may have failed to protect the body of His Highness, but you have protected his soul countless times. You've been on this journey with us since almost the very beginning. His soul and his will, right? Without your aid in this journey, we would never have returned to this place, and the main character would never have reconnected with the prince, saving him.
While all and sundry believed the lad had shuffled off, you alone kept the faith, milady. And in the end, that faith was rewarded.
Fate was changed.
Are you really His Royal Highness the Prince? Please, please forgive me, Your Highness. I failed you when you needed me most. And more, despite being a member of your Royal Guard, I did not recognize Your Highness at our meeting and showed you such insolence.
Alright, this I think is a great place. Great place. After what Yupa said and after what Hulkenberg said right here, this is a great place for me to voice my complaint. And if anyone has, it's gonna be a minor complaint. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent for 30 minutes. This isn't a Vesperia moment or anything like that. But this is a minor complaint. And if anyone watching this has watched me any small amount of time before, it is probably going to be very easy to podcast. It's going to be very easy to know what the first word of my complaint is going to be. Foreshadowing. I am sure that there were brief moments, brief hints of the oddities surrounding the main character as we progressed through the story. I'm not going to make the claim that there was no foreshadowing and this came out of nowhere, blah, 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 blah. Because I don't want to then be directed to a video essay on YouTube where some other content creator has broken down every single moment of foreshadowing throughout the game leading up to this point. However, there is good foreshadowing and there is mediocre foreshadowing and there is bad foreshadowing. And think about it, right? Like, if Hulkenberg had had a moment when she first met the main character, and it had been played up, and there had been kind of like this big deal about it, right? She she cut down a bunch of guys when they tried to take the book from me at the very beginning of the game. Book from the main character, not me. Just stop trying to insert yourself as the main character, Jeremy. And then, like, if we had like altered that moment slightly, she did it, or it seems as if she did it because it was just the right thing to do. They were killing people. She jumped in to defend people. She wasn't going to let that happen. But if it had been painted more along the concept of this, she was going to do what was right to begin with from the very beginning. But like she had this feeling, this like brief recognition. That type of foreshadowing gets a player thinking. And then the next little piece of foreshadowing comes down the road a couple hours later and reminds the player, what's going on with that? Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Down the line until we get to scenarios where, for example, we proclaim that we are the prince. And so I'm perfectly fine with how the game did those events, right? Like, we proclaim we are the prince. But remember when that happened and I was like, that's just fucking weird. Why are we doing that? That's so strange. Well, it wouldn't have been strange if we had all of those foreshadowing moments, right? If we'd had people more frequently be like, you look just like the prince, right? But to my memory, and granted I have played this game over the course of months, so like that might be my own fault. But like, I don't remember a bunch of times where people are just making out such a big deal of like, oh, you look, your face looks so much like the prince, right? And then it happened, like we did the whole like, oh, we're gonna announce that we're the prince scenario. I mean, sure, but also too much foreshadowing would spoil this event. Yes. Right? Like that's where it's good foreshadowing versus mediocre foreshadowing versus bad foreshadowing, right? I even guessed a few times that I actually was the prince. So like we had those kind of moments, sure, but like my point is yes, if you go too heavy on the foreshadowing, you spoil it altogether. That's bad foreshadowing, right? Or honestly, that might not even be bad foreshadowing. That's like mediocre foreshadowing because you're still ratcheting up the concept, but you spoil the surprise. Bad foreshadowing is when you try to foreshadow, but you do such a bad job of it that the player doesn't catch it at all, right? And the player doesn't realize that you're even trying to have any foreshadowing. And then good foreshadowing is when you don't spoil the surprise, but you still keep getting people thinking. And it's very easy to do good foreshadowing because all you have to do is make a person go, wait, that was weird. That conversation that we had with Gallica earlier tonight, where she was like, wait, I don't remember. And I was like, oh, wait a second. That's weird. What's going on there, Gallica? Excuse me. Right? Like, all that was just an immediate trigger for me to be like, she didn't spoil anything for me, but she immediately made me just go, oh, there's something afoot. This is strange. But we never had any moments in the past of the game where Gallica, like, had a false memory or a reaction like that. If we had a couple of those, right, we would be like, wait, what's going on with, throughout the game, we'd be like, wait, what's going on with Gallica? It feels like she has some sort of like weird memory issues or something like that, and things are a little wonky going on there. What could that mean, right? And oh, we have all of these like moments where people are like a little weirded out around us, or something strange happens around us, or blah 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 blah. Like Yufa, the first time we saw Yufa, I think she made a comment about how our Magla seemed, but if that had been emphasized a little bit, if she had been like shocked by our appearance, but she was maybe confused that it wasn't our appearance, and then she was like, just, your Magla seems different from any other person I've ever seen. Like you're something, right? Like not there, or not like anybody else, blah, 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 right? Like adding in all of these moments, and we get to this point where it clicks and it makes sense. So that is me, again, right? Not gonna take 30 minutes, not giving a scathing review of I can't believe they didn't use foreshadowing. Still love the game, still very happy with the story and the overall direction of the story. This was a twist, but it wasn't like a, this ruined everything, blah, 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 blah. But I do have the complaint of, like, I don't feel like the game properly foreshadowed this. If that makes sense, right? Still very happy, still very cool, still think that it's really awesome. But now we have, like, a crack. We're like, this could have been better, right? You just remembered there was a story called That Which Devours, based on Final Fantasy VIII. It had a similar premise to the reveal here, although you don't want to spoil it. I pronounce your sentence. I love that that's a thing. I pronounce your sentence. You've always been an ally.
Actually, you've been there for me this whole time.
Oh no, his voice has changed. That's gonna take some getting used to.
He's right, you know. If we'd not met you, we'd certainly never have made it this far.
This time, I will protect you. Even should it cost me my very life. I swear to it.
Finally, we've done Grius proud. We've really done it.
By the way, what are we supposed to call you now? I mean, how would you prefer to be addressed, my lord?
Same as always.
Captain. Same as always.
No, Your Highness! With all respect, I must object.
And I overrule you. You will need a new purpose in life after this, I think. I mean, I'm really interested in what Gallica's reaction is going to be, because she kind of got fucked, and we still need an answer. I assume it's Mama does this, but lady with the voice, what the fuck?
This is no time to be thick-headed, Miguel. He's the one who gets to decide what we bally call him, so we'll listen to him, eh? What?
You, sir, should be begging His Highness for forgiveness on bended knee. You mangled the royal runner to your own whimsy, you lout!
Well, that is, I mean, it was all dashed useful in the end, wasn't it? A bit of clemency, Your Highness.
So much for acting same as always.
It's beyond belief. Not just that a child who'd lain cold for years could come back to us, but through such extraordinary circumstances.
I still feel like something was lost. It doesn't feel all good. Yeah, it's not like, I don't know, the whole... I keep saying this. I feel like I've said this every time we've played for the last couple of sessions. Even the session where everything was super hectic and was the cool stuff with Luis and Forden and everything like that. But I don't think this is what you're thinking about, but I think this is in relation to what you're thinking about and how I feel about what is resolving right now. And that is, everything feels a little looser at this point in the game than it did at the beginning of the game. Like, it feels a little less tight. Like they did the point A to point B to point C to point D to point E But the further, and they had a good plan, but the further along they got, it got a little muddier each time, as they tried to like reach the goals they originally set for themselves. And now we get to this point, and that feeling in combination with what has happened with the prince and the main character recombining, and the fact that he was dead, but not dead, and also the voice was kind of like, you don't matter, you don't exist, all that matters for you is to be the prince again, kind of feels a little like something's not quite gravy.
After so long in the curse's thrall, he could not even open his eyes.
And I'm really worried about
He
Galaga.
may as well have been a corpse. But all this time, he had been on his own journey. It was the boy's dearest wish. He spoke of a fantasy of traveling the world, meeting its people, seeing its truths.
Is his body still there?
And without him even knowing, magic made it real.
Everyone's looking over there like his body's still there.
He is a child of Elden blood.
Okay. No.
And Elden legacy. All these years he spent in the village, he has rested near the secret of true magic. Perhaps this is how it came to be.
Yeah, we gotta learn what the fuck that whole secret history of the Elda is.
His was a fantasy surpassing fantasy. It became more than a dream, but a self-possessed force acting of its own volition. And now, reunited, Prince and fantasy live anew.
A journey to discover and reclaim the self, in all senses. No wonder he set off the custom igniter in the Royal Gauntlet Runner. It was the Crown Prince himself.
That's another opportunity, right? And I remember that moment. I remember Neris kind of like being like, whoa, what the fuck, right? But like, if they had just morphed it slightly, if they had kind of like couched it slightly, they could have made that another bit of foreshadowing.
Even having it all explained like this, it feels like nothing short of a miracle.
That's because it's Deus Ex Machina, but...
I can only guess that fate had a hand in it.
That's right. I remember, I heard a voice. Guide him, it said.
Mama!
A voice? Whose?
If you can't remember anything from before our journey, then we
Main
probably
character's
met
voice. That wasn't
after
Prince's
you
voice.
just- Yeah,
Are we gonna swap back and forth?
right? I shouldn't have known you then. But for some reason, I was convinced that we'd always been together. I thought we both received the order to save the prince, too. Ever since the moment I heard that weird voice guiding me.
A voice? Lady Gruiday mentioned a revelation. Hold on, are we still being mystic and metaphorical, or was there an actual guide involved?
I know someone was guiding me. I just don't know who.
So a disembodied voice. Hang on. Come to think of it, that sounds a bit familiar for me too.
Shouldn't that sound familiar to all of you with the whole archetype nonsense?
Hey.
It's the same voice.
Who do you think the voice belongs to? Any idea?
Sort of.
I have a faint idea, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's main character's voice. Are we flipping back and forth between main character and like, are they sharing a body now? What's going on?
Come to think of it, this place, the light coming in, they seem familiar.
Don't they?
I might say the same. When I first acquired this power, I had a vision of somewhere not unlike these grounds.
It's like Piccolo and Nail. Yeah, I could see that.
Does this mean that we've been guided as well?
The issue, though, is that Piccolo and Nail end up sharing one body, but they are two separate people, right? Like, they are two completely different people with their own different, like, memories, correct? Whereas, in theory, the prince was born and goes until he collapses, at which point the prince doesn't have any other memories, and he just out-of-body experiences into the main character, and the main character continues to have memories. So they're, in theory, the same fucking person, right? Like...
Perhaps someone has been at your side unseen, watching over the course of your journey. I imagine all this comes as a great shock for you as well.
Speaking of Piccolo and
But
Nail...
here you are,
I
back
see
in your rightful place.
I see Gruade and I just want to go, Nail! Nail! I saw a little bird! Kick its ass! Oh, I forgot that it was pretty part. Kick its ass! Very nice.
You have come to the end of your arduous journey and found new life. It is a life well won, grasped with your own two hands.
I feel like everyone should be a little more freaked out about this than they are.
Chiefess Gruade, we want to know everything. What is the truth behind your tribe, the Elder? We Mustari are also said to have inherited truths of the world before us. Histories hushed by sanctism. But this village, it is something altogether different. I myself feel a strange familiarity here. A lost haven underground, yet letting of the sky's light. Please, tell us, what is the Elder Tribe?
To know what we are, you must first know our history. Come to the altar room past the door. I'll wait for you there.
I feel like this is a secret kept for countless generations. And we just barge in here and this lady's gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah, come on in, I'll show you the secret. Like, okay. Alright. We got white hair now. And our eyes are no longer the multiple colors.
Hey.
All very nice.
Oh.
I also feel like this whole thing with Gallica, you know, it's probably not resolved yet, but... What was the... Was there another game that we recently played, or maybe like a show that I watched, or a book that I read, or something like that, where there was a fairy involved, and who she was changed as a person so drastically that other fairies no longer recognized her. Was that in... What? I don't know. You know, sometimes, you know where you have like a deja vu moment, but it's not like a because deja vu is very explicit, right? Like deja vu is like, it happens and immediately you're just like, whoa, this has happened before. Like I have this sudden flash of like, exactly this. This isn't like that, but it's like the ghost of that kind of situation where you're like, I swear I can remember a very similar situation, but it's not. It's missing that definity. Definity? Definity? Is that a fucking word? That seems completely implausible. Anyways. Sounds a bit like Last Unicorn, but there aren't any fairies in that book. What it is.
Oh, it's
I might have to look at some of the games that I've played recently and see if If anything rings a bell, or it might not be a game. It might be like a book, because I've been reading a lot of books here lately. But I have this flash of like some story with a fairy involved, and something happened to basically like fairies in that story aren't like what we would consider like human intelligent creatures, and this fairy like became one, like was by the power. What? No, this is totally another. This is not this story. What is it? Oh fuck! It's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to look that up. Drive me crazy. Buy stuff.
Now what am I to do?
Sage's Pill, 50% HP. 50% HP to all allies. 400 HP. Panacea. Yo! Getting special stuff in here? No, you just have a bunch of comet stuff. You have a comet everything. And they cost... why do they cost different amounts? That feels strange. Comet. 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 Why has everything else got, like, a stat buff on it, but not... Oh. Everything else has a stat buff on it. This has 9 evasion on it. That's why. Gotcha. Gotcha! Alright. Let's go see what the secrets are about.
Huh? Wow. What?
Day, a month, a year, that's people talk. What does time matter to a fairy? We're almost like them. But I guess that's kind of cool. Gallica, I don't know why, but I'm so happy right now. Come on, Gallica, let's play. What should we do? What should we play?
About that.
Sorry, I can't play right now. Another time, alright? I mean can't. Are you really Gallica? Sure, though. When you can play, I'll be around. I felt more at peace than here. I've flitted around a lot, but this village, and especially this place, is just so relaxing. Don't you agree?
Oh, it's you!
There's just this aura that draws us fairies in. I wonder if people folk like you feel the same
And
thing.
yet...
Village sure does have a lot of fairies, more than I've seen in any other place I've been, actually. Yeah, we don't tend to stick around in one place for very long, but I guess this place is the exception. Isn't it just like a fairy to find somewhere we like and stay there for as long as we want? It's the different tribes. Ujif and Parapus, and I'm unsure. Resants. Those look like horns, so Clamar, I suppose. And then I guess maybe over there that would be Elda. And then this would be what are they called? Rogue? Fucking God, I can't remember the name of what Nearus and Rella are. And then Media, I suppose. Okay, let's go actually talk to what's her face. Nope, that's gonna bother me. Culture. Ishkia.
What now?
Does this depict the Elder tribe?
Again, nobody just writes shit down?
Elda comes from an ancient word, meaning only the Old Ones. It was an alias given by our ancestors to outsiders who visited the village in the distant past. As for our original name, you know it well by now. We were humans.
You say you know it well by now, but actually that's a revelation that we have only recently come to, and we have disputed.
The human tribe. So Luis's words.
There is no human tribe. Tribes, as we know them today, did not exist then. We were all one people. Humankind.
You say that, but we're pretty broken up into tribes.
A world united. But wait. The ruins on Virga Island. There's nothing left of the civilization today. Was it destroyed? Why? How?
A war. One that all but destroyed the world past. But its destruction was born of the discovery of Magla. Or as you call it today, magic.
I feel like that should be reversed, because everyone refers to... Okay, well, maybe not.
Do you wonder what they battled over? Without the divided tribes, what could they have disagreed on? They were racked by division. Over the abstract, undefinable idea of rightness. They tried to destroy something invisible, and destroyed only themselves. And any idea of absolute rightness is born of fear. That fear flooded the world, and gave way to war. And their age of prosperity came to be called the world before. The people we now call tribes were either born of artificial division for the sake of the war effort, or natural adaptation to survive the hellscape after.
Humanity was torn apart by fear and anxiety, giving rise to the tribes as we know them.
Unbelievable. We've met plenty of people caught up in pointless conflicts. Given the choice, I know they'd rather live in a world without tribal division. And yet the truth is, that world's already fallen apart. More than that, it's how we all got here.
Such drastic physical changes would normally have taken eons to effect. Accelerated by Magla, however, it was only a matter of a scant few centuries. You understand now, yes? We, the Elder, are the survivors of the old world. Our ancestors fled the flames of war and thus escaped the ensuing divisions.
He's the prince, that is to say, I am a scion of both the old world and the new.
It beggars belief.
Tis nothing short of astounding. But then, why do we know these monsters as humans?
By the war's end, both sides were consumed by fear. Their magical assaults escalated with each retaliation, until it was beyond all control. Our world became a hell.
Okay.
Rampant Magla distorts the body and mind. By now, I'm sure you know that better than you ever wished to. Humans are what remains of that branch of humankind that succumbed to melancholia. Broken, horrifying testaments to their own mistakes in the war of magic. Some persist, breed, and multiply as any beast does. Others live centuries of agony before their lives burn out. Even we do not know the full scope of their nature. Regardless, when the 8 tribes settled in this land, our claim to the human legacy was forgotten. To the people, the name only meant slavering, insane monsters. Therefore, we took on an alias instead. The same one by which we are known today. The Elder.
So, the old world couldn't control its magic, and... Wait. How does the Sanctus Church fit in? All this revisionist history to spread their magic igniters.
Indeed, what are magic igniters to you? Tools for the Church to shackle the people, perhaps? Or weapons that hide magic's true potential? Am I close to the mark? In truth, it's the opposite. Igniters are tools made to limit magic. Restraints made in self-discipline, meant to avert a repeat of history's destructive mistakes. The Sanctus Church of today is muddied by greed. But its faith was born of good intentions. They once urged self-control, and thus control of one's personal magic. At times, they preached we must close our eyes to the truth when it would only lead us to ruin. By this benign tenet, history was obscured, and the Elder denounced.
I had no idea. There's a grim irony in that.
His Majesty only hid his son's ancestry to protect him. Yet in the end, that meant Forden could attack the village under any pretext he liked, his motives concealed.
With all that said, you have now reclaimed your true form. The friends that stand with you are of different tribes and ideologies, but of one mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna make another complaint. Again, it's a minor complaint. Everything's good. Could have been better. So, when writing a story, a lot of times you'll see different people approach this in a different way, but timelines can be really, really important for how believable and like how good of a foundation it supports your story, right? Brude's recounting of history so far to us has been very loose, right? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad about it, but it smacks of an undefined timeline, right? It makes me feel like if I was in the writer's room for this game, that the people involved didn't have a sheet of paper in front of them saying, this happened, or Magla, or magic, was discovered in the modern era in 2052. In 2065, the magic wars began. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, very precise dates throughout a timeline leading from the point of origin to now. And if you do that type of thing, it allows you to, in a conversation like this with Gruete, to give specific information that feels confident and it feels impactful. But instead what we've got is this happened at a time in the past, and it was born of anxiety and fear and the concept of what it means to be, right. What was it? Truly righteous, or where's my log? Where's my log? We can check. Ah, damn. It doesn't go far back enough. Ah, rightness. Rightness. Okay, so it does go far back enough. So like we get these kind of like loosey-goosey concepts and this idea that there were two sides warring against one another, and that, you know, the Elder are the ones who fled the conflict altogether, and then one of the sides, you know, fell to Melancholia, or maybe it was multiples on both sides fell to Melancholia and became the humans, and then others during the course of it, you know, rapidly mutated for various reasons and became the different tribes and blah 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 blah. Right? And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very loosely structured. It's kind of like sand in your hand. You can't really like pick it up well. And if you instead build that concept from a specific static timeline of this happened here, the conflict started, these two sides waged war, the Elda, the ancestors of the Elda, retreated and hid away at this time period. These situations caused the mutation of the Resant and the Clamar. This situation caused the mutation of the Ishkia, and reasons why, right? Like these people mutated in the way that they did, right? For this purpose, or the result of this scenario. And that's not to say, for clarity here, that's not to say that Gruide should know all of this information or just give us a massive history lesson, because that's implausible, right? But and would stop and would be weird, but you can see the confidence of that knowledge throughout the way that she is actually telling us this information, and it becomes more grounded and firm and comes off stronger. Basically, I'm just saying is this conversation with Gruide so far feels very fluffy. It feels very insubstantial. None of it's wrong or bad, and a lot of it is what we kind of presumed, but we're not getting a lot of like substance out of it.
As you are now, you may walk the path of the rightful king. The path of a modern world where the tribes walk as individuals.
Just a
yet
lore
with
dump.
mutual
Well,
respect
it's
and
not even just like the
cooperation.
concept of just a lore dump. It's like depending on the way you tell it, it can reinforce things that the player already knows or suspects. So if you want a lore dump, just put it somewhere else, right? Like we can check that in the memorandum. But it allows whichever character is speaking, in this case Gruide, whoever the professor is, whoever the teacher is, to speak with more specific confidence and make it feel like it has more substance. Also, again, with the looseness towards the end of the story, we get a scenario where earlier Gruide calls the king this horrible man or something like that. Or was it Gruide? Maybe it wasn't Gruide, but I think it was Gruide. Where basically like they don't like the king, and now they're like, oh, but you're the son of the king and our queen, and now you can be the rightful king and you can be good and everything. And it comes off as like a little wacky inflatable noodle.
The sovereign's power.
It just
Thou
doesn't
king
feel
to be entrusted with the
It doesn't
will
feel like
of the
this
people.
character and some of the events that are
To
happening
bear their
around
hopes
right
is to
now
be their
are
rock
like
in the
we're
storm,
firm
and to face
confidence
anxiety in their
when written.
names.
We're like 1052 or some shit like that. I don't think we're on the route to be king anymore, y'all.
Yet, Anxiety itself is not something to blindly reject or desperately cast away.
Bring my mother.
It begins with a simple thing, acknowledging its existence.
That's true. That's true. Like, that is legitimately true. You want to know how to deal with your anxiety? Face it, address it, name it, know it, work with it, deal with it, live with it.
Accept thy weakness, walk forward alongside it, and thou wilt grow strong and true in its company.
Mom, I just got reborn. Why are you over here calling me weak?
And besides...
Good job, Jay. Good job. But realistic or not, I refuse to accept Luis's methods as the alternative. The weak and those who dissent don't deserve to die out as though that's the natural order. Oh shit. Is this what heroic embodiments are supposed to be? Holy fuck! What the fuck is that? Thank you for confirming it as soon as I called it, Jay. Thank you for confirming it as soon as I called it. Determination to challenge the unknown has awakened the heroic embodiment of the prince. That looked like Luis. It had bearing resemblance. I thought the prince bore resemblance to Luis too, though. Any earlier would have been a spoiler. No, it was great. That was great timing. If no one understands me right away, I accept that. There will still be meaning in showing them my convictions in the fight to come.
Let's fight.
That is my mission.
That's it. I've made up my mind. I'm with you to the end, no matter what.
I still feel like there's this, like, opportunity for Gallica to have had this, like, righteous indignation over having had her mind basically controlled.
Where's this coming from?
Before we got there, this guiding voice thing told me my duties were over. But what am I gonna do? Just go, okay, bye? Especially after we've come this far together? No. I'm going to face Luis with you, even if it is scary.
Hell yeah, Gallica. I mean, you could.
Even you've got to cope with anxiety, eh?
I realized something in our travels. Anxiety can lead people astray. But overcoming it makes a person stronger.
The whole point was that you could do what you want. She wasn't kicking you out of the party. I don't. She wasn't kicking you. She wasn't. The voice didn't say, "All right, get the fuck out, Gallica." But the way she said it was like almost disparaging in the way that the words were chosen. It was like, "Your mission is over. You may go do what you please." Right? It was like it wasn't "you're dismissed," but it felt pretty fucking close.
There's always anxiety in the unknown. I know what it's like to be
I don't know if
afraid
that
of
was
something
intentional
I
or
don't
not,
understand.
but it felt like that.
That's why I think it's my duty to help people face and connect with their anxiety. Is that okay? From now on, it's not about orders. I'm with you, because I want to be.
Yeah, I want you by my side until the end.
Same here. Stick close to me, okay?
Well, we're past the worst of it. But the problem remains. Luis's dark magic. We've seen it turn the boy into a monster. And no doubt he can do it again.
A forbidden spell, turning sane mortals into the fearsome human monsters. In other words, a destabilizing magic, turning a person's magla into a snarl beyond control.
Okay, here's the plan. We gotta figure out a way for me to get control lets Luis turn me into the human, then I flatten him like a fucking pancake while I'm in Titan form. And then I just pop out of it. And I go, alright. We're done with that now.
This man named Luis. He may have his own past in this ancient sanctum.
Oh?
Luis has been here? What do you know of him?
What do you wish to know?
Tell me about Luis.
Who exactly is Luis?
Every time I heard of his doings in the wider world, I felt more and more sure that Luis is from this village.
So Luis has an archetype too? Maybe. I would say that's very likely. When we heard about his power right before, it was like, okay, he challenges us to a duel, he has this dark power that we don't know about. My initial reaction was something to control the humans. The secondary reaction was, does he have an archetype? Right? But they've made the archetypes out to be heroic the entire time, so I don't know if they'll go that route, but maybe. What? How is Luis
His
from the
knowledge
Elda
of humans,
village?
his skills in magic, his grasp of darker arts. They're all beyond a mere soldier to begin with, however prodigious. As it happens, a name does occur. Among those old families who perished in the fire, there was one by the name of Caradrius. A family of doctors, I believe. In an effort to better heal the ills of the people, they had studied spells much like the ones he now exploits. The details are long since lost to the fire. But if Luis bears our legacy, that may be the reason for his vast knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, not to judge or anything like that, but you had random Clamar hanging out in the ancient Elden sanctum before Forden put it to the blaze.
Wait. What about Luis's ambition? The vision Rella saw? Do you think he actually wants to turn everyone in the kingdom into humans?
There is no known magic strong enough to turn many people at once, and none that can be cast quickly.
Even if it was possible, I don't know what it would accomplish. But this is Luis we're talking about. Who knows what he's thinking?
There's no known magic that caused it, but clearly it happened in the past with the ancient war, right? So like if Luis creates a scenario like the churches are using igniters to suppress magic or control magic, right? He causes a war, right? Whether it's civil war or whether it's, war against humans and the tribes, if he creates a situation where large amounts of Magla are being utilized and there's a massive amount of anxiety, right? Because that sounds like what was happening with the old war in our world, right? Then that might start force changing humans en masse, or he might be able to manipulate that. I might be thinking too hard on that kind of concept, though.
What do you wish to know?
What is this forbidden spell?
The essence of magic is in the control of Magla. However, just as its chaos may be calmed, it can also be deliberately pushed out of control. That was what you saw. He whipped your innate magic to a frenzy and you were lost to melancholia. Just as the humans of the ancient war once were. In every age, the cause and effect are the same. People learn fear, become slaves to their anxiety, suffer.
Easy.
And thus, the power of magic is born.
Pardon me. You mean to say anxiety is the source of all magic?
Magla is a substance born of the heart. generated when one feels anxiety or fear. By certain means, it may be kindled into power. That is
Jay.
what we call magic.
Have you been feeling a little magical here lately? Because I'm not sure how much more anxiety or fear needs to be generated before we start shooting fireballs out of our fucking fingertips. Like, if this is how we create magic, I feel like humanity has gotta be close.
In this way, it is by virtue of the anxiety in our hearts that we gain the power to overcome it. Magic is a natural process, and anxiety is its invaluable, irreducible fuel.
So it's almost like a biological response, right? Like when the mass of humanity becomes so anxious, they gain the ability to utilize magic in theory to get rid of the cause of their anxieties, which then would suppress the need for magic.
But in turn, those burdened with more anxiety and fear produce more and more magla from their hearts. Without the willpower to face your fear, the magla overflows. Uncontrollable by magic, it can give rise to strange and terrible happenings as it manifests. With the world embroiled in chaos, these outbursts of swollen magic may be happening all across our kingdom.
'Tis the answer to everything. The melancholia crystals, the beasts driven feral. The very land is erupting with the weight of its people's fears.
Hold on. If Luis's art is rooted in bringing out this chaos, then anyone might be next. He said he became a monster because he's elder, but that wasn't the complete story. If what you say is true...
Indeed. All people today are ultimately descendants of humankind. If Luis so chooses, he could turn anyone into a human monster. Yet as long as you have the strength to confront your fears, even this transformation may be defied and overcome.
But if he would turn people into humans, if in the unlikely event that happens...
If there is any motive for such cruelty, it can only be hatred. If Luis is truly from this village, then their fire would have cost him everything. Such unjust tragedy could easily beget a thirst for revenge, even if it meant wielding a magic that twisted life into something terrible, instead of uplifting it. Indeed, it seems the opposite of an archetype. A truly dark power.
There you go, Lime. Not an archetype, the opposite of an archetype. You wouldn't be able to conjure much more than a minor light sphere. A different emotion, however. I don't want to be a drama dump, though. That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could all just trauma dump, like, real hard and just be like, ah, let's go! But what are people if not their traumas? That's a rough take. I take that back. We are more than our traumas. But they do definitely shape us. Man, I'm trying to not be, like, overly critical. But there's a lot of little things that are happening where I'm like, I don't know if I like this compared to a lot of the stuff that we've experienced. I get what they're doing here with this scenario with Luis, where it's kind of like tying it all back into secret knowledge and a greater purpose and everything like that. At the same time, I kind of just liked Luis being this extremely confident individual that truly believed might made right, and he was the strongest and the most adept, the most skilled, the most intelligent, the most strategic, and that because of that, he deserved to rule above all, and any who did not see it his way should just die. I kind of liked that about his character. Adding in this layer of, oh, but also in actuality, he's doing this out of revenge because Borden burned down his home and potentially killed his family, and he sees all of the people as sniveling, weak cowards, and he's gonna just destroy the whole world by turning everyone into humans. Like, it's not okay. That's fine. That's fine. It feels like a different Luis to me, but fine. You know.
Who goes there?
Zorba!
Someone flees!
That's him. The malformed assassin who struck at the prince. He's bound for the woods.
After him!
Okay. No, not okay. We're definitely gonna save here. It's 11:30. We got answers. We've opened up a lot of information tonight. It feels like we're about to. Let me take a look. It's
What now?
It's still the 24th? Holy shit, it's still the 24th. That feels wild. That this is all on the same day. It feels like they would have, like, in between the morning's events of fighting Luis and then flying here, blah, 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 blah. It feels like we would have moved over to another date, but I guess not. We have a little more than a month before the Day of the Hero, which is the final time for deciding the next king. So definitely feels, I mean, not feels, we are definitely in the end game. It feels like we're getting resolutions to things. I feel like we've had most of our questions answered now, right? Like, kind of in a, again, in kind of like a loosey-goosey way of like non-specifics, but with enough information to give us the yays or nays on our questions. I feel somewhat disappointed. I feel like the revelations could have been more impactful, but it feels like the intent of the story that they're having happen here is supposed to be more focused on the characters and what's happening with them rather than the revelation of the history of the story that has led us to this moment. If that makes any sense in the way that I'm trying to say it, it's kind of I understand the way that I'm trying to say it is somewhat kludgy and vague, but I'm trying to resist the urge to go into a dozen specifics because this is not a podcast. This is not a podcast. Okay, we're gonna save here. Really excited. One, to go kick Zorba's ass. If we can catch him and kick his ass, that would be great. Two, keep telling myself it's not a podcast. Two, the next time we play, I'm really interested and excited to see where we go from here, because clearly, right, like, we've lost all of the people's support. What do we do now? How do we go forward, right? Like, is this Luis's game to lose? Is he gonna fuck up and then we're gonna be there to step in and save people? Or are we gonna have to force his hand? Or is there a way for us to, like, regain the people's trust? Also, gonna say this, it really feels bad coming off of the back of Alonso, I'm gonna air quotes, dying to garner us support, and then all of a sudden, all that support's gone. Everyone hates us. All of the things that we do or have done throughout the game now feel invalidated. If we go back to one of the cities, if we go back to, like, Martira and the people boo us in the street, I'm gonna want to punch one of them in the fucking mouth. That did line up, unfortunately, didn't it? Didn't it? Oh, God. Okay, so that is the end of this video of Metaphor. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.